Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. Please press the like button, subscribe, share, comment. I appreciate all the comments that you guys place, and I also appreciate all the dialogue. Thank you so much for your loyalty over the years. Today's video comes from an owner of a security company. He wants me to talk about the concept of cover and contact, or contact and cover. This is actually a concept that I learned when I was a police explorer. And then I end up using this concept in private security when I work with a partner. And then when I got into law enforcement, this is a concept that I still use today. Matter of fact, I used it hours ago. Contact and cover. Forgive me for my haphazard design here, but it will look something like this. Oh my goodness. I just lost my pen. Here we go. I got it. Let's just say you're contacting a subject or a suspect of some investigation on your property. Okay, this is your suspect or your subject. If there's two security officers, you basically want to do the initial approach just like this. This is security officer number 1, and then security officer number 2. What letter do you believe that this formation sort of, kind of resembles? If you were to draw any type of letter, what's the closest letter that you would come to? Look at L. This is something that's referred to as an L-shaped formation. Security officer here, and then this is the subject of the investigation. It doesn't matter if the subject walks over here, you'll always be in this L-shaped formation, or you want to try to maintain it as close as possible. If this person goes towards another side of the building, you follow this person still in the L-shaped formation. The benefit of this L-shaped formation is this. If this person pulls a weapon, right, and engages with security officer number 1, security officer number 2 can still engage, and security officer 2 has a very less likelihood, well, security officer number 2 has a less likelihood of getting hit by gunfire or maybe a taser or some other weapon by security officer number 1. Let's just say security officer number 2 needs to engage with suspect that's located right here. You're still in the L-shaped formation. There's some type of gunfight, or maybe security officer number 2 needs to deploy a taser. Well, if he deploys a taser, security officer number 1 is not in the way because he is maintaining this L-shaped formation as best as possible. Now, let's talk about what exactly does the contact officer do? What does the cover officer do? So if you are the contact officer, then we'll just say that you're number 1. Your job is just to contact the person, get information. Hi, sir, how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great. We're private security for this premises. It looks like that you might be lost, maybe confused on the property. Is there any way that I can help you? Okay, that conversation should only be with number 1, unless number 1 messes it up so bad, number 1 doesn't ask the essential questions, then number 2 would interrupt. Where I work at, and I am not being a disgruntled person, our sergeants that work for us have a very difficult time of even understanding this concept. If you understand the concept of contact and cover, you're already ahead of the game. You're probably more advanced than some of the sergeants that I work with, because for some reason they have to just keep opening their mouth and just talking. That's not your, if you're a sergeant for a law enforcement agency and you're providing cover, your job is to shut your mouth and just provide coverage. Because if you're opening your mouth, you're taking on the role of number 1, of security officer number 1. I mean, I've had days where I've had to look a supervisor straight in the eye and kind of give an impression of, are you serious? Like, you want to handle this? If you want to handle it, go ahead. Same thing with security supervisors. Again, they show up and they end up taking over the contact role. Now, I'll tell you this, if number one messes it up, gets out of line, asks the wrong questions, doesn't ask the right questions, then number two, which is the supervisor or the other officer, is going to naturally kind of sort of butt in. Okay, but we want to try to just shut up. Okay, if you're number two, try your best to just be quiet, shut up, and this is how the concept should work. Now, obviously, if there's some type of officer safety hazard, then number two should say something. Okay, now it's very possible that number two could end up taking over. If that's the case, then number one needs to communicate with number two. Okay, this concept is so easy, guys. Contact and cover, maintain that L-shaped formation, that we tend to forget about this whole concept. In law enforcement, every single day we mess it up. You always have a talkative police officer that has to keep yakking, or that supervisor that just wants to control the whole scene. What if the number one guy is getting into a physical confrontation with someone? Maybe he's trying to detain this individual. What does the number two guy do? Well, again, it depends on the context. If this is an area that's maybe a loud party, an area where a lot of people are drinking, I don't think it's a bad idea to just allow the number one guy to go hands-on, fight around on the ground with this subject of this fight. Because as the cover officer, as a number two guy, you have to watch out for the number one guy's back. If the number one guy is already handling the situation, he's getting this person under control, be the number two guy. Your head has to be on a swivel. You're looking over here, you're looking over here. Those of you who work custody, maybe corrections or detentions, you guys know what I mean. If all the deputies, all the corrections officers, detention officers, if they all pile up on this confrontation, who's getting 360-degree coverage? Just think about that. Because I'll tell you this, even when you work in a mall, if everybody's head is down into the scuffle, you're trying to grab an arm, the other guy's trying to grab a leg, there's somebody's gonna walk up to you with a skateboard, hit you across the head, maybe kick you right in the nose or the face, do a football kick, and you're gonna be in a lot of pain. You might even become incapacitated. So once again, my suggestion is, if the number one guy's already going to win, okay, number one guy is dominating this person who's aggressive, I know we all want to help, but for me, most of the time, I just look for other threats. So I see a physical confrontation going on over here, partner doesn't need help, I'm doing this. Okay, looking for everybody else. Where are they coming at? Now, if I see a window of opportunity where there's nobody yet, hey, I might just grab the other arm, okay, hand it to my partner while I'm constantly looking around for the other threats. I just seen too many videos out there, and if I experience in real life, when everybody's head is down in the fight, you're the most vulnerable. One last concept about contact and cover and the L-shaped formation strategy that I just discussed. Remember, the rules are not really rules set in stone. They can be broken, just depends on the context. Let's just say you get a loud noise complaint at an apartment complex. You find out what apartment unit is causing the disturbance. You can always have one security officer knock on the door while the other officer is positioned in such a way that he has an observation on the side of the yard, or another area where some of the party goers can easily come out and maybe throw a bottle. In that circumstance, you wouldn't even be anywhere close to an L-shaped formation, but you would still be doing the concept of contact and cover. Contact here would be the security officer number one who's knocking at the door, and then cover would be security officer number two, who has security officer number one's back, who is standing on the side of maybe the front yard, and who has a constant observation of the side yard, or an access point where somebody's most likely to come out. But remember, that person needs to be positioned in such a way that he can hear a struggle or she can hear some type of confrontation. So somewhere near number one. So that's all I have. I know that there's a lot of knowledgeable people on this channel. There's a lot of knowledgeable people who don't even have a YouTube channel. And we see them in the comment section, in the comment section box below every single day. If you have any tips, advice, or suggestions, or any comments, we're looking forward to that. Take care, guys, and be safe out there.